viewers, welcome to the other session of water quality analysis. So in that, first we have to understand the water pollution and sources of pollution. So there are many reports globally of groundwater becoming contaminated or at risk of contamination. So what is meant by the contamination? Water is in nature never pure, of course we know that, but it contains dissolved minerals, microorganisms, gases or suspended particulate matter. Indeed, it is because water does contain these impurities that life on earth is possible. There are many reports of serious incidents that resulting in contamination of groundwater supplies because of the accidental spills or unsatisfactory disposal of industrial chemicals. In addition to this, solid and liquid waste also generated by the modern society is frequently spread over the land surface, and moisture from the waste and also from rainfall, they will percolate down through the underlying soil. Depending on the type of waste, the resulting leachate, that we can call it as, may be highly acidic in nature and have a large organic load or contain a high concentrations of ammonia, toxic materials or various organic compounds, all of which may contaminate underlying groundwater. Especially in rural areas, there has also been concern for some years over the rise in nitrate concentration in many groundwater samples. There is no doubt that agricultural practices that includes heavy use of nitrogenous fertilizers, which are an integral part of intensive arable farming. So some cultivation regimes, they will use this one, and intensive stock rearing have contributed directly to the rise of this one. So direct discharges of nitrogen compounds from on-site sanitation and also from the sewer effluents, that also exacerbate the problem. The other area of concerns lies with the pesticide contamination. So the extent of this remains unknown because of the very wide range of chemicals which are involved in this complexity of decay process. Some of the factors which gives rise to degradation products more toxic than the parent compound. So because of the time lag between the chemicals being applied to the soil and also their arrival in water supply wells, and it is probable that the contamination of the groundwater supply with nitrate and pesticides will continue, and also indeed it is increasing during the coming years. We can expect that. Spanning agriculture and industry and urbanization, these are the three factors. The diverse group of chemicals are reported to disrupt the hormone system in humans also, domesticated animals and wildlife, and endocrine disruptors that are arises from the many man-made processes as well as they are occurring naturally. So we have to understand much of their effects on human populations and on wildlife, and they are also subject of concern as well as the current research. So we have to understand the substance that categorize may make them a groundwater contaminant group of concern in the future also. So there are number of sources which are responsible for adding pollutants to the running water, underground water or the natural water body. So the pollutants that can come from the food processing industry or petrochemicals or textiles or tanning, paper industry, and also from the agrochemical industries. So all these industrial water pollutants are leads to the industrial effluents, and are untreated effluents, we can say, that become responsible for the water, soil and air pollution. So the quantitative assessment that depends upon the concentration of these effluents which are present in the wastewater. So the expression of concentration of impurities either by the milligrams per liter or ppm or percent saturation. So according to the Press Information Bureau, Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest 2016, or the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has developed the criteria of categorization of industrial sectors which are based on the pollution index. So that is a function of the emissions, that is the air pollutants, effluents, water pollutants, hazardous waste generated and consumption of the resources. For this purpose, the references have been taken from the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Amendment Act 2003 And the standards so far prescribed for various pollutants under the Environment Protection Act 1986 and Doon Valley Notification 1989 issued by the MOEFCC. So the pollution index of any industrial sector is a number from 0 to 100, and the increasing value of PI indicates the increasing degree of pollution load from the industrial sector, and the criteria on range of pollution index for the purpose of categorization of industrial sectors. So, number 1, industrial sectors having pollution index score of 60 and above are considered as a red category. And second, industrial sectors having pollution index, the score of 41 to 59 is under the orange category. And the industrial sector having pollution index, the score of 21 to 40 is the green category. And industrial sectors having pollution index score is in between or including, and up to 20 is known as white category. So it is a customary to define water quality by several parameters like physical, chemical and biological. So deterioration of water quality of surface water and groundwater and coastal water systems in the natural ecosystem is mainly determined by the geological structure and lithology of the watershed or the aquifers. So with the advent of rapid industrialization and urbanization, the chemical reactions that takes place within the watershed as well as the type of land that is uses the anthropogenic activities definitely affect very high in the water quality. So water quality assessment is the overall process of evaluation of physical, chemical, biological in nature of the water. And the water quality monitoring also is a process of collection of the required information, and qualitative and quantitative measurements are required from time to time to constantly monitor the quality of water from the various sources of supply. So the key factors we have already discussed, that is the sampling, selection, precision and preservation and reporting the values and also the proper labeling. So modeling and simulation. So many environmental management decisions are being made frequently with the support of this mathematical simulation model. So in the area of pollutant transport and also the fate of surface waters, few of the extant simulation models have been evaluated so far. So limited observational data and also limited scientific knowledge are frequently incompatible with the highly detailed model structure of the large pollutant transport and also the fate of model. So an alternative to comprehensive structured simulation model is proposed as a flexible approach to introduce science into the environmental risk assessment and also decision making process. So there are various models to assess the quality of water, that is a drain mod is a software which is developed to assist the simulation of the transport of water and the transport and transformation of the nitrogen in a stream. So ECM is another approach which is developed to approach the catchment management and assessment, and limited data is sufficient to run this model. And major use of this model is normally the several countries to predict the total amount of phosphorus and the nitrogen which is delivered into the surface water sampling site. And then MIC2 is also one of the one-dimensional hydrodynamic model which simulates the dynamic water movements in river. So then MONERIS model is also there, but that also builds over 8 submodels that simulate the main process of generation and transport of suspended solids and nutrients to the river network. The Tomcat is also one of the model that make use of the Monte Carlo analysis and was developed to assist in the process of reviewing effluent quality standards at sampling sites of surface water quality preservation. And also Qual2K is one-dimensional steady state model of water quality and in-stream flow. And DEL-FT3D is also one of the world leading 3D modeling suite to investigate hydrodynamics, sediment transport and morphology and water quality for fluvial and also the estuarine and coastal environments. And if we will see that what are the 5 major monitoring purposes for this one. So it is an integrated activity for evaluating the physical, chemical and biological characters of water in relation to human health. and also ecological conditions and designated water uses, and identify the 5 major monitoring purposes. The first one is characterize waters and identify changes or trends in water quality over time. And the second purpose is identify specific existing or emerging water quality problems. Third is gather the information to design specific pollution prevention or the remediation program. And the fourth one is determine whether the program goals such as the compliance with the pollution regulation or the implementation of effective pollution control actions are being met. And the fifth one and the last one is how to respond to emergencies like spills and floods. So these major monitoring purposes are not mutually exclusive, and also some monitoring endeavors can meet more than one of these purposes at the same time. And the next one is sensor based monitoring. So recently wireless sensing networks have been introduced, which are low cost and also development in information and communication technologies. So these simple low cost networks that allows monitoring process to be conducted remotely in real time and with minimal human intervention. So if you look into the picture of this wireless one network, that is there are two main components are there. One is node and the other one is base station. So a node is a device, if you will clearly, it is clearly depicting in the picture, that is node is a device that is normally equipped with the sensing, processing and communication capabilities, and is also responsible for measuring the parameters which are associated with a particular application. And the second part is the base station. It is responsible for capturing and providing access to all measurement data from the nodes and can sometimes provide gateway services to allow the data to be managed remotely. So next one is the water quality index. So water quality index was first developed by the Houghton in 1965 in United States by selecting 10 most commonly used water quality variables like dissolved oxygen, pH, coliforms, specific conductance, alkalinity and then chloride, and has been widely applied and accepted in European, African and Asian countries. So the assigned weight reflected significance of a parameter of a particular use, and it has been a considerable impact on the index. A new water quality index, which is similar to Houghton's index, that has been developed by the group of Brown in 1970, that has been based on weights to individual parameters. And recently many modifications have been considered for this index concept through various scientists and experts. A general water quality index approach is mainly based on the modern common factors that are described by the 3 factors. First one is the parameter selection. So it is carried out by judgment of professional experts, agencies and government institutions, that is determined in the legislative area, and the selection of the variables from the 5 classes what we have already discussed, like eutrophication, health aspects, physical characteristics and dissolved substances. And also the second parameter is the determination of the quality function. For each parameter is considered as the sub-index also, and sub-indices transformed to non-dimensional scale values from the variables of different units have to be incorporated. And third is the sub-indices, that is aggregation of the mathematical expression. This is frequently utilized through the arithmetic or the geometric averages. And the huge number of water quality indices like weight arithmetic water quality index and National Sanitation Foundation water quality index and Canadian Council of Ministers of Environmental water quality index and Oregon water quality index have been formulated by several national and international organizations, and all these have been applied for evaluation of water quality in a particular area. And moreover, these indices are frequently based on the different number and types of water quality parameters as compared with the respective standards of that particular region. So the water quality indices are accredited to demonstrate annual cycles, spatial and temporal variations in water quality, and also trends in water quality even in low concentrations in an efficient and timely manner. So on the basis of this one, the available indices have many variations and many limitations, and based on this one, it it needs worldwide acceptability with varying number of water quality variables. So, the simplest way of the analysis is the water quality index, and it evaluate and rate the quality of water for decision making purpose. The monitoring networks that collects thousands of chemicals, physical and biological measurements of water each year, and this data do not give us an indication of trends in water quality over time. So, a concise, quick way to draw meaning from these numbers is known as water quality index method. So, it provides a way to distill thousands of records of environmental data into meaningful values that indicates the health of water resources and create an yardstick for measuring and assessing water quality. So, it incorporates data from multiple water quality parameters into mathematical equation and rates the health of the stream with a single number. So, this number is placed on a relative scale, and that rates the water quality in categories ranging from very bad to excellent. So, index values are determined by transforming selected water quality parameters, what we have discussed also, and unitless and then sub-index value through a sub-index rating curve. So, each parameter has its own rating curve on a scale of increasing water quality from 0 to 100, depending on what values for that parameters are considered good and bad. So, the main objective of the rating curve is to link a parameter concentration to water quality. So, after sub indices for each parameter are calculated by rating curve, if you will see that diagram of the rating curve, they are averaged to give an overall water quality index value. So, it is commonly used for detection, evaluation of water pollution, and also defined as a reflection of the composite influence of the different quality parameters on the overall quality of water. So, they are broadly classified into two types. One is the physicochemical and biological indices, and in physicochemical indices, they are based on the values of various physical chemical parameters in water sample, and biological indices are derived from the biological information and calculation of water quality index using the weighted arithmetic index method. So, weighted arithmetic water quality index method is generally classified that water quality which is according to the degree of purity by using the most commonly measured water quality variables. So, this method has been used very widely by the various scientists, and the calculation of water quality index was made by using the equation which you are seeing on that. So, the quality rating scale, that is a QI, for each parameter is calculated by the using that expression, in which it is estimated the concentration of the ith parameter in the analyzed water, and also it is the ideal value for the parameter in pure water. If it is 0, that is except pH, it is 7.0, and then if or sometimes it may be dissolved oxygen is 14.6 milligrams per liter, and it is a recommended standard value of the parameter. So, the unit weight, that is a WI, normally we can call it as, for each water quality parameter, that is calculated by the formula which you are seeing. So, everywhere it is there, it is a sum of all the components, and a proportionality constant we know that, and can be also calculated by the using the equation. So, for example, let there be n water quality parameters and the quality rating Qn, which is corresponding to the nth parameter is a number of reflecting relative value of this parameter in the polluted water with respect to its standard permissible value. And then if Qn is 100, that is a Vn to Vi upon Vs minus Vi. So, that is Vs is a standard value, Vn is the observed value, Vi is the ideal value. If you will see the equation, in most of the cases, that is the Vi is 0 except in certain parameters like pH, that what we have discussed. So, dissolved oxygen. So, calculation of the unit weight also is also most important in this one. The unit weight, that is represented by the Wn, to various water quality parameters which are inversely proportional to the recommended standards for the corresponding parameters. So, Wn is K upon Sn, where Wn is a unit weight for nth parameter, Ns is a standard permissible value for the nth parameter, and we all know that K is a proportionality constant. So it is calculated by the equation, just like we have seen that Qn is the quality rating of nth water quality parameter, Wn is the unit weight of nth water quality parameter, and the suitability of water quality index values for human consumption are rated. If it is between 0 to 25, we can consider that is an excellent, and if it is in between 26 to 50, we can consider it as a good. If it is in between 51 to 75, it is bad, 76 to 100 very bad, in 100 and above it is unfit. So learner, we have to conclude this session that the study of different water quality indices, it may be also inferred that the aim of water quality index is to give a single value to water quality of source, along with the reducing higher number of parameters into a simple expression that resulted into easy interpretation of water quality monitoring data. Moreover, this is an effort to review the important indices which is used in the water quality vulnerability assessment, and also provides the information about indices composition and mathematical forms. These indices utilize various physicochemical and biological parameters and have been resulted as an outcome of efforts and research and further development that is carried out by different governmental agencies and experts in this area globally. I think you have enjoyed thoroughly this water quality analysis, and in the next session we will come up with some more details about the environmental impact assessment. Thank you.